What's up, everybody? Hope everyone's having a great day, and I know I am. But today we got a banger of a video for you. I got a top 10 NBA point guards to this date, and it is November 27th, 2021. So if you see this 3 months from now and are like, oh my God, this guy's been so much better, just understand it was just up until November 27th, not taking anything into the future. This is not a prediction for how this list will be down the season. This is just as of today. Uh, this list rankings is based off of ESPN's point guards. So they're not going to see James Harden. You're not going to see LeBron James. Like those players are not listed as point guards. So if you have any issues with it, I'm basing it strictly off of ESPN. So that's where we're going with. I'm going to start with the honorable mentions. I had D'Angelo Russell as one of them. Shai Gilgeous Alexander. Tyler Herro was probably the hardest to leave off of this list because he's been like 20 plus a game off the bench. Probably going to win 6 man of the year right now. He's been excellent. Leaving him off of the top 10 was pretty hard. So I think you can argue him into the top 10. That's my main thing. If you got him over some of these other guys, sure, fine. He's been great. The other one, Malcolm Brogdon, I just couldn't put him on there because his team is just, they're not winning games. And while he's been good, like it hasn't led to wins. So that's part of the reason I kind of left him off. And I also didn't think he was better than Tyler Herro. And so he's just an honorable mention. He deserves some shine. But now the actual list, the people that actually really matter to this list. Number 10, I had Darius Garland of the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's a weird thing, but having Colin Sexton get hurt for the entire season, I think it really was like a blessing in disguise for Garland because now the point guard duties are strictly his with Rubio mixing in. But he just looks like a point guard of the future, and he's been really good. He's averaging like 18 points, 7 assists. Their team is winning games partly. They've been banged up too, so he's been really leading the charge for them. I love him and Evan Mobley together. I think it's a really great deal. Him and Jarrett Allen have been perfect together for what you can expect. Big fan of him this season. I think he's been great to this point. And, I don't think a lot of people had the Cavs going into, a playoff hunt right now. So I got to give Garland some love there. 9, kind of controversial. Russell Westbrook, Los Angeles Lakers. Being a fan of the Lakers, the team has been the most frustrating it's probably ever been for me. But Russ really, he hasn't been the reason why for most of it. He's been the one guy that's consistently putting out effort and trying, and it seems like, and is playing with his heart on his sleeve. And it's for me that's a lot, especially when you're supposed to be this big three, but it hasn't really panned out to be that. But his 3-point percentage, it's over 30%. He's not shooting under that. He's kind of taking smart shots for the most part, except for some game-winning attempt ones. But the games that they needed him to step up, he did for most of it. I mean, he killed the Spurs in one game. And there's been other ones too, but he's 20 points, 8.5 rebounds, 8.5 assists, and constant effort. I think he's still a top 10 point guard. He's been playing like, I think he can be even better though. He's been put in some really, really bad situations by poor rotations and bad coaching. So I think hopefully as the season goes along, they figure out how to get him more into lineups that are better for him. And, he was out there with Rajon Rondo and Dwight Howard at times. And it's like, what are we going to, there's no chance for him. He's not a great shooter, but he's, his best ability is to drive. And if you clog the paint, he can't really do that. So given his circumstances, I think that's another plus for him that he's done so well under these horrible circumstances. So I got him at 9. Number 8, this one might be a little bit controversial compared to who I have at number 7, but this is my personal list on who I think's been the best. So I got Lamelo Ball. He just leads to wins. Like when he's on the floor, your team has a better chance of winning. He's been excellent this season, looking better than he even was last season, and he probably was going to win Rookie of the Year. I think he won Rookie of the Year. What am I talking about? But he's been really good. Shooting pretty decently. Actually shooting like 38% from 3, and a lot of people didn't think he was going to be a good shooter coming into the league. So LaMelo's been a lot of fun. The reason I have him at 8 and not at 7 with DeJounte Murray is because I think his team is a little bit more talented, and that's also been a big factor. So in comparison with DeJounte Murray, who I have at 7, his team isn't as talented as the Hornets. I don't think that's a surprise to many people. The Hornets have a lot of good players on the team. Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington's been up and down. Kelly Oubre's on there. I'm probably forgetting somebody here, but Miles Bridges, he's been an absolute stud this season. But I just think that's DeJounte's load is different, and he's being a little bit more efficient overall from the field with less turnovers. So I think if you guys watched the game with DeJounte Murray playing against, oh man, who they play last night? He put up like 30 something. I forget who he's playing, but he put up like 30 something and he absolutely killed it down the stretch. Just tough bucket after tough bucket. And the biggest reason I have him over LaMelo is that dude is a absolutely great defender. Like he's all NBA defensive, not to say LaMelo is not a great defender, but I think DeJounte is a different tier because he's long and he can cover guards. He can cover some forwards and he's very, very aggressive. And you don't see that a lot anymore out of guards and not getting fouls and everything like that. So I got DeJounte at 7, just a slight edge. If you got LaMelo over him, I'm not mad at it. That's fine with me. Number 6, it's purely due to the fact that his efficiency has been way down. I got Damien Lillard. He wasn't that great to start the season. And this is a list up to this point in the season. So if you haven't been good for half of it or haven't been as good as expected for half of it, I think you can't be higher than certain other people I have on this list. He had that ab injury, the abdominal strain, Jesus Christ. And, you could tell it just slowed him down to begin the season, but I think they gave him a couple games off in the middle of it and he's come back and now he's kind of cooking again. And, I think you're going to, as the season goes on, Dame's probably going to jump from 6 into the top 3. I think it's probably most likely. And, just for now, that's where I got Dame at. If you have him higher, that's fine, but I'm going just off of what you've done this season. So number 5, Chris Paul has probably like the lowest points per game on this entire list, but that man leads to winning and is the point god. And you can't argue me against that. His team has like the second best record in the league. They're on like a 14-game win streak. They just destroyed the Nets. He's just an absolute killer at point guard. Steps up when you need it, mid-range when you need it, lob when you need it. He's still good defensively at his age and his size, which is really incredible. And just, you can't argue against him. He's so, so good. And their team is playing so well. The team is very talented, but he's a huge reason why, because he keeps things in check and he keeps that machine as well-oiled as it is. So yeah, Chris Paul at 5. Number 4, I got Luca Doncic. He's averaging 25, 8 and 8. He's been pretty good. The Mavs have been pretty good. He missed a couple games with I think it was an ankle injury, and now he's back. And I think he's killing the team he's playing right now, which to me, not surprised. That's Luca Doncic. It's what he does to everybody. But he's been Luca Doncic. What you couldn't expect more. He's probably going to be even better as the season goes on because he'll probably get up into the 28 points a game range, maybe 9 rebounds, 9 assists. He might get there. But I had him at 4, partly because I couldn't put him over the people that I have at 3, 2, and 1. So it's not a knock on him. It's just, I expect him to jump up there. But number 3, I got Trey Young. His team started off super slow, but he's picked it up and what is he averaging? Like almost 26, 4, and 9. And he's doing it with lower turnovers than Luka, and he's doing it more efficiently than Luka. That's part of the reason that I got it right there. The records are almost in line. I think the Mavs have a couple games better record right now, but I think Trae's been really, really good. He just put up like 35 the other night. The funny thing with him is people thought he was going to be like trash because of the foul change and everything like that, and he's just as good. He adapted quick to the foul change rule or the foul rule change, and great scorers are going to be great scorers, and he doesn't need to foul hunt. I was glad that he doesn't need to do that because I don't like watching foul hunters run around out there. But Trey Young is the reason Atlanta is anywhere near as good as it is. Without Trey Young, that team is not going anywhere. So, for them to be hanging in there, and they're probably going to climb in the standings as the season goes on. But Trey Young, I got you at number 3. Number 2, this season, this guy's been absolutely incredible. I got Ja Morant, and he just got hurt the other night. It looks like he's going to be okay, though. They were really worried about he might have blew out his knee or something, but he seems to be in good spirits. So hopefully he's not severely injured. What is he averaging? 25, 6, and 7. And he's a very small guard. And this dude had the highest percentage at the rim of every single player in the NBA, with a certain amount of attempts. He's like 6'1", and he's putting up higher percentages than guys like Rudy Gobert. Zion hasn't played yet, but his percentage is probably going to be crazy. DeAndre Ayton, like Anthony Davis, he's got a higher percentage at the rim than all those big guys, which is insane. And, I think he deserves a lot of respect for that. And he got hurt in that game, and their team absolutely went to just trash. They were down by 40 after he left the game. Or not after he left the game. He left the game, and then they were down by 40. That's how bad it was for them. John Morant, you've been killing it this season. I hope you come back healthy. You're at number 2 right now. I gotta put a lot of respect on you because you're absolutely killing it. And this is what I hoped for when you came out of the draft. And as a Laker fan, we had a high pick that year. I was really hoping we might actually keep it instead of trading for Anthony Davis. That was my own, I'll take the championship for sure because I wanted Ja. But Ja, absolutely incredible. Number 2 on my list. As the season goes on, hopefully he can stay at number 2. I don't see him going to number 1, strictly because that is probably going to be the guy that I think is going to win the MVP, and that's Steph Curry. Steph's averaging 28, 6, and 7, and it's Steph Curry. He's going to break his own record for threes in a season. The guy is just a maniac. That whole team. I love the Golden State Warriors this season, and even last season, that guy shut up every doubter, every single one of them. Obviously, they didn't make the playoffs last year, but being as close as they were with the talent that they had, there's a big difference. I just think he's been incredible, and I think if you're going to win MVP, you can't be number 2 at the list or anything like that. That doesn't make any sense. That's my prediction. I think he's winning MVP. So obviously, he's still shooting over 90%. The guy doesn't miss free throws. He doesn't turn the ball over a ton. He finishes well. He's even playing really good defense this season, because a lot of times people try and pick on him, and he's actually been very, very underrated on that side of the ball. And Golden State, the reason that they're like top 3 in both offense and defense is one, because offensively, because of the gravity Steph has and the ability that he has with the ball. So people are getting open when he doesn't have it. And defensively, everybody's working together, that whole team. Just want to put some respect on that team. But Steph, number 1 point guard in the NBA as of November 27th. And I'll be stunned if anybody passes you by the end of this season. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this list. If you have any disagreements with it, that's perfectly fine. It's my opinion on who's been the best, who's been better this season. It's all subjective. If you do have any, leave a comment on it. I'm completely happy to see what people think of it. But yeah, top 10 NBA point guards. Hope you all liked it. Have a good night or day, depending what you're at.